Okay, welcome to Let's Talk Digital Marketing for SMEs. And today's guest is Dan Sagar, who's a good friend of mine. I've known you for probably a couple of years now.
Mm.
And a very interesting guy. Um, Business coach, I guess, is the generic term for what you do, but you'll explain more in detail about what you cover. So let's just get started and dive in. And I think mainly to start off, kind of just talk about what you do and how you got into what you do now.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. Good to see you as always. So it was a couple of years ago when we met, probably at some random online networking event, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Discovered then that you lived just down the road. And I came out of my last business about 2.5 years ago selling cars with a business partner. And I picked up some consultancy work, which I absolutely loved. Found it super, super rewarding. And I thought, well, if I can do a bit more of this, I'll certainly be happy. So went away, got licensed and trained and certified as a business coach. I actually don't really like the word coach at all. That is what it is. And I've been doing that, for coming up on 2 full years now. Business
yeah,
coaching, helping lots of different businesses, one-to-one mainly,
yeah,
group
yeah.
stuff as well more recently. Yeah, having lots of fun with it.
What was the spark that made you go into that? What sparked it? Was it
Yeah, I
in
came out of the last business because I didn't enjoy the selling cars. It was a lot of evenings, weekends, driving across the country, picking stuff up, and then you have a car in the best, you sell it with the best will in the world, full of history, and things go wrong. Mechanical things do go wrong, right? And just didn't like that world and that industry. So I was offered some consultancy work with actually another car dealer to help them with a bit of marketing, help them set up and implement the CRM, do some database
yeah,
reactivation, did some work with their team. And I just absolutely loved it. I just found it super rewarding to like go in and help these other people. Once we started getting some results, I again just loved it even more. And I thought, yeah, if I can spend more time doing this, then personally I'll be very happy and giving back as well.
yeah? Because you're a Entrepreneur Circle certified coach. So what
Yeah.
made you uh, interested in Entrepreneur Circle?
I've been an EC member for almost a couple of years at that point anyway, and I've been using their tips. They don't like the word tips, they'll hate me for saying that, but their advice and their resources, and I've been to loads of their events in person and online, and I just love their ethos and the way that they do things and how everything that they give out is really practical and it's actually useful in the real world, unlike a lot of stuff out there, especially around business growth. And I thought that if I want to actually make a real go of this and do this coaching properly, so to speak, they are the people that I want to do it with. And I was aware of their coaching program. And that's why I applied for and ultimately went through and took myself through that process because I still believe in the way that they do things is brilliant. And they've got a really good ethos, in my opinion.
Yeah, were you a member first and then became a coach?
Yeah, so it was about 2 years I was a member, just, with my own business, using all their stuff and absorbing as much as possible.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Mm.
great, great. I mean, recently I've noticed that your business has, a lot more visible. You've definitely kind of put the foot on the accelerator with the business, and you
Mm.
talk a lot about AI as well. Because there was a great LinkedIn Live you did recently on AI, so I want to touch on that because a lot of listeners and viewers of the podcast would be interested in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, first off, is AI relevant to SMEs? Can
Absolutely,
it
yeah.
really help small to medium sized enterprise?
100%, yeah. Used in the right way, of course, like anything, it's definitely a mixture of technology and tools, right, that can help us. But yeah, used in the wrong way, they can hinder us or waste our time, right? So yeah, if they're used in the right way, categorically, yes.
Yeah, and you go over 7 tools in that LinkedIn Live.
Mm.
Are they still relevant? Those 7 tools, as time have they become passé already, or are they still relevant?
Yeah, things are moving so quick, aren't they? That the LinkedIn Live that I did most recently, a few weeks ago, was Yeah, that's the fourth or fifth time I've delivered that presentation, and every time I deliver it, it's fourth time this year. Every time I deliver it, the content changes. So those 7 things, I like to keep it at 7 because that's good to fit into about an hour or 90 minutes with some questions.
Seven's a great number.
Yeah, and it's just a good number. It's not 5, which feels a bit forced.
Yeah.
So I try and think of 7 things and as helpful to as many people as possible. But every time I deliver that presentation, at least some of the 7 things change. So yeah, the next time I do it, it'll be different again as things develop and evolve. But yeah, catching the most recent one is the best way to stay up to date, I think.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll put a link when the podcast is published. I'll put a link to the video on YouTube.
Yeah,
People
it's
to
all up
watch,
there. Yeah.
because that will give people more of an idea what we're talking about. I mean, in your business, which AI tool do you use most?
ChatGPT day to day, classic. There seems to be a bit of a race at the moment as we're recording this between that and Gemini. So I've been trying out Gemini as well just to see what it can do. The image generation is great, not that I have much need for that. But also Manus, I think, is massively underutilized. And if I'm doing something quite complex, that'll be the first place I go.
Yeah, I've not heard of Manus. I mean, what is the difference, the main difference between that and ChatGPT and Gemini?
Manus for me, it seems to be more of an agent. So it's really good at going and doing stuff. You know, sometimes you say to ChatGPT, "Can you do this for me?" And it thinks it can do it, but actually it can't. Manus, you can actually see it working away, and it will doing stuff. So Manus for me has been great at writing code, to create widgets and tools. It's been brilliant at doing that, and also analyzing documents. I've found it actually better at that and giving me more useful information back than ChatGPT. It writes some brilliant reports that are actually useful. So yeah, it's quite complex stuff. It seems to be a bit better at in the things that I've tested it on, at least.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think is the most important aspect of the business to use AI in or for?
I think just speeding yourself up and removing admin. So anything that's kind of repetitive that you're doing, there's probably a tool that you can plug in or use to remove some or all of that admin. Like things, for example, Zero, that's got AI coming in now to
Mm.
help you reconcile stuff. And again, if you're doing your own bookkeeping, I don't think most people should be doing their own bookkeeping, but if you
No,
are,
no.
it's just speeding things up, as an easy example. Copy's a great example, but it's also a great example of where people rely on it too much. And I feel like I can spot AI content now almost instantly when I see it on a feed or in an email. But yeah, admin, if you can get rid of some admin by automating some stuff, and yeah, it's just a game changer, especially for smaller businesses where you don't have a team or a really small team.
Absolutely. Actually, talking of AI copy, I interviewed, the last podcast was an interview with Madeline Lambert from originality.ai, and they've got a AI plagiarism detection tool, which is really, really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, do you use AI for copy for LinkedIn, LinkedIn posts, etc., or do you use it mainly for, like, for just the admin tasks?
I use it for a lot of admin kind of stuff. Managing my inbox is great because, like most people's inboxes, it's out of control. And
Mm,
if I miss my inbox even for a few hours, it's a bit insane. So I'll go into I use Gmail, for example, and I'll
mm,
just say to Gemini within Gmail, I'll say, "Oh, who's waiting for a reply from me in my inbox?" And it'll say, "Oh, these 2 people you haven't replied to yet," and it finds the important stuff, and the rest I can just park
yeah.
until later. But for writing copy, I tend to stay away from getting it to write stuff for me. I've got a lot of my own templates and ideas for copy, and a lot of it depends on what I'm doing, and I'll share certain things. And I've never been great at, like, English was my worst subject at school, right? So I've never been a
Mm,
good writer, but I think it still needs to be my writing style when I write on anywhere. So I might use it to generate ideas if I'm really stuck.
mm,
And I'll take that idea and write my own thing, or I might chuck a load of thoughts, random thoughts into there and get back some bullet points for which I can then form paragraphs or something more concrete. But then I'll still write it on my own. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for AI, for you, it's a means to an end, isn't it? Because what you do for your clients is growing their business.
Mm.
Um, it's not just to kind of, like talk about the latest AI shiny objects,
Yeah.
which you can fall into that trap, I suppose. Of just
It seems too easy at the minute.
yeah, endlessly trying out different things.
Mm.
Um, I mean, can you give examples of how AI has assisted business growth?
Yeah, for sure. So, um, I think around visibility, it's been quite good. So there's a really good tool that I like to use at the moment called AI Trust Score. Don't know if you've heard of that one. Mentioned on
Yes,
my recent webinar,
yeah.
and
That was the first time I'd heard of that too.
yeah, so amazing tool. Marcus
From
Sheridan,
Marcus Sheridan.
yeah,
Yeah,
his baby, right? Links into his second book, Endless Customers.
he's great. He's
Got
great.
here on the shelf behind me down the bottom. Um,
Available from all good bookshops.
Absolutely, yeah. So
And,
that's
and
great in terms of looking at the different language models like ChatGPT and Claude, finding your business, and then telling you how you're being found on all those platforms. Because a lot of people now stopping using Google and things like that, and actually they're looking for recommendations for things, perhaps what you're selling or a service you provide, and they're using AI to find those things now rather than Google. So
yeah, that
AI
is
Trust
interesting.
Score,
That is interesting.
yeah, it's an amazing shift that we're seeing happen already. And I know people that have completely stopped using Google, and they're just, if they want something, they're just going to ask ChatGPT because it gives them a list of potentials, right, with links rather than, you go to Google, you see all the blue links everywhere. You might see dots on a map, you
Mm.
see some sponsored stuff and all that kind of stuff. And there's definitely still a place for that. We haven't gone away from it completely, but more and more people are using AI to find stuff. So yeah, using something like AI Trust Score helps you be found by these AI tools.
Yeah, yeah. I was fascinated actually by when you mentioned about client research
Mm.
using AI,
Yeah.
which would be of interest to business, um, marketing.
Yeah, really good point, actually. I'd almost
Yeah,
forgotten that one.
yeah. Can
But
you go
yeah,
over that process,
yeah, sure.
uh,
So
what it involves?
yeah, I can explain it, I guess. So if you have a good, competent CRM system, as an inquiry comes into your business. So if you have a form on your website, for example, that collects information about the person inquiring, name and email is the basic stuff. But if you ask for something like a business name or a website address or a LinkedIn profile, if you don't, it could infer that information from the email address, especially if it's a business email. We can usually infer that information as to where the person's come from. And then what you could have your CRM do is look up that business, and then depending what your service is that you provide, normally this is B2B service businesses where this is most effective, the AI can then go away and research that business and present you a little report. So for example, if you were selling marketing, magazine space or digital ads or something like that, when you get an inquiry through your website, the AI could go away, research who that business is. They could look at its current presence online. They could look at its current social media activity, look at its reviews, see what people are saying about that business, see if there's any sponsored ads for it, and then present that all back to you within a few minutes of that inquiry. And then if
Wow.
you're the type of business which likes to follow up very quickly with its inquiries and you want to call them back within 10 minutes, probably within 2, 3, or 4 minutes, you'll have that report. All that research is done. You can glance over it, and then when you speak to that prospect, you're so well equipped to have like a half decent conversation with that person. And even if there's just one or two little nuggets that you pull out and mention on a phone call in terms of trying to get that prospect into a meeting, which is normally the second step,
Mm.
it just shows that, these guys do know what they're talking about, or it makes you look a bit more competent.
And is that something you can set up as a service?
Yeah, for sure. So, been helping my clients with that in my one-to-one work. And then on a more basic level, yeah, I've been helping quite a lot of businesses recently. Um, Sorry, I'm just gonna have to cough.
No, it's fine. It shows it's real. We're not
Excuse
on
me,
BBC.
sorry, I should have muted myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Carry on. It's something you do for your clients.
Yeah, so the last few months I've been helping more and more businesses just to get set up with a CRM system. So I noticed as I was helping people, the two biggest kind of roadblocks were time. First of all, time. People saying, "I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that," and actually just living off spreadsheets. So inquiries
Mm,
are coming in, and they might get jotted on a piece of paper or get fed into a spreadsheet, and all their pipeline or whatever is just managed on a spreadsheet, which seems insane to me in 2025. But I've seen so much of it.
mm.
Um, so actually, just what seems fairly basic now, getting people into a good CRM system where they can manage their leads. And then once that's happening, the next step is then to automate some of these things. So automating some of that research, getting that pipeline visible, and just having everything in one easy to access place is now, yeah, absolutely fundamental.
And I know you have. I think it's your baby, isn't it? Foundations.ai.
Mm.
So can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, Foundations AI. So we are, yes, I've been using this system for about 3.5 years, and then started essentially reselling it about 6 months ago. And by me doing that, I'm much more equipped to better be able to help people. Because I'm conscious when people get a lot of software products, you sign up on the website to whatever the software is, and we're all signed up to almost dozens of these at this point. But actually, you don't know how to use it, or you haven't got the support you need to use it, or it's capable of so much, but you only use a small percentage of it, right? So by setting this up, this where I can resell it and support people, the support thing is huge for me. So yes, you get the login and you get access, but then there's myself and a team behind me that can support you through that, get your contacts in there in the right place, and I've got all kinds of automations and workflows and models that I can just drop into your account, and you can just start using this stuff straight away. So again, without it becoming over complicated, how the thing I just mentioned with the research, I've got that set up as a template, and we just tweak the prompt to suit your business and your industry, and we can just drop that straight into your account like it's already done. So these things, which might seem crazy complicated, actually a lot of it is already out there and it's possible, and I'll just drop it into people's accounts, set it up for them, and once it's set up and it just works, and it just saves people so much time. And as weeks and months go by, you can add more things to it and more components to it. Yeah, start with the basic stuff if you don't have it,
Mm,
and just build on that over time.
yeah, saves time and money.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
the database reactivation thing's a huge thing for me. That again, when I went into this car business at the beginning of 2024, they were living off spreadsheets. They were over £5 million business, and they had years and years of contact data going back, and there was people that had inquired and they just hadn't spoke to them since. So we set them up on this system and did some database reactivation with some email sequencing and things like that. And people came back and bought cars that had inquired 400, 500, and even over 600
wow.
days, or I think about 640 days previous was the record. We managed to get these people back into the business, and they bought a car, which is obviously not a small investment, right? And the money that they spent to get that system set up paled into significance when you looked at what people were actually coming back and buying. And yeah, it's just doing the right things to bring these people back, because follow-ups, one of the biggest things I think people miss out on. If you get that inquiry and someone doesn't buy from you straight away, people go chasing, oh, I need more inquiries, I need more leads. But actually, what about those hundreds of people that inquired in the past? Probably some of them are still hungry.
Mm, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a gold mine. Your past inquiries and past customers, and I suppose using automation to make that easier to follow up with clients and past inquiries and clients
Yeah.
is a big plus, because otherwise it is a bit of a time suck.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're in a business that gets lots and lots of inquiries, you can still make it using AI be quite personalized, and you can absolutely keep humans involved at certain points, which is really important. It's not to replace anybody, but it's just to enhance what you're doing already. And if you're the
Yeah,
type of person that gets just a few inquiries because you don't need many customers, you can still use it to stop, again, those repetitive tasks, so that you can give more personalized time to those prospects and your actual customers as well. And just, yeah, time saving is a massive, massive thing for this.
yeah, yeah. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Automation,
Yeah.
making processes, etc. I know you mentioned in the the LinkedIn Live, I say, which will be linked to this video as well. You talk about mapping out your processes
Yeah.
as a good place to start.
Yeah, for all of this. So this is what I do with my clients first. I've got a big whiteboard here in the home office that I take to clients' houses in the
Not a
car.
digital one,
Yeah, but I like to
an
start with
old-fashioned
on
one.
paper. I've got some pads of post-it notes, all different colours, and we literally map this out on post-it notes on a big whiteboard. And we go, right, what happens, when you get an inquiry? Well, first of all, where are these inquiries coming from? Are they coming from your website, the phone, Facebook, LinkedIn? We put all that out. And then for each channel, what happens, who's getting back to them and when? And we map all this out right up until the point where someone buys. And that's the prospect journey, right? And then when someone hands you some money, we then start the customer journey. Okay, what happens? Do they need onboarding? What's the process for sales or all that kind of stuff? And we map all that out. And then once you've done that and you can see it visually, again, most businesses don't even do this. And they just kind of have a process somewhere. But again, you do that once and then it helps you leverage your time, because if you get a new member of staff or you hire someone for the first time, you can say, this is the process. And if people don't stick to that, you can, do what you want with that. But yeah, mapping it out. And then what we do is, right, what can we automate? And definitely a difference here between automation and AI. But yeah, what steps there are we doing that a computer or a machine or a bit of software could do? And we start to pick things out and introduce a bit of software or automations. Okay, software could do that bit, software could do that bit, and slowly remove ourselves from the more tedious bits. And again, then frees up our time to give more value on the other bits. But yeah, it all starts with just, I love a whiteboard. I mean, there's software like Miro and there's a Google software that can map this stuff out, and that's where it ultimately ends up. But I just love the post-its in the beginning because it's such a visual thing.
Yeah, there is a place for the old, what we call the old-fashioned, post-it notes and things like that.
It'll end up digital eventually, but yeah, it's a good starting point.
Yeah. It was the software, the Google software you were referring to, was that Notebook LM?
It wasn't, no, I forget the name of the
Okay.
the Google software. I have used Notebook LM. Starting to use it more and more, but yeah, I can't remember the name of the other one.
Yeah. Can you just quickly go over Notebook.lm? I'm not sure if it's that well known.
No, it's a bit of a hidden gem, I think, and I'm far from an expert. I've only used it a handful of times, but what it's done for me, which has been really cool, is well, two things actually. I've fed in. The first thing I did was feed in a couple of resources that I have. So I've got, as you can imagine, dozens of templates and resources and guides for various things. The first one I fed into it was a guide that I made on how to craft really good email copy that's engaging and gets responses. So I fed in this 4 or 5 page PDF. And I said, make me an explainer video. And it took about 15, 20 minutes, but it went away and it created a voiceover video with graphics, talking people through how to make this email content. And it took all the copy that I'd written and it put matching graphics with it. And over about 4 minutes, I think the video was long, it told you how to do what I'd explained in my PDF, but in a talking explainer video. And it was all like black and white sketches of all the different components, and if it says write this, there was a hand that, and it wasn't perfect, but
No, but
it was at least 80% good enough to put out.
bloody hell.
And if I'd have spent
That's
probably,
free. That's a
yeah, that was
free
free.
tool, isn't it?
I've got a Google Workspace subscription. I'm not sure if I get some usage with that.
Yeah.
But that's only £5 a month.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing, which was amazing. And then the second thing was I did a proposal recently for a company, again, with software related. And I put the proposal, which I had, as quite a boring 5-page Google Doc. There was some legal stuff in there and some boring stuff that you have to have in these kind of things and some explaining stuff. And I put it into Notebook LM, this 5-page Google Doc, and it gave me a 12-page, it was basically a PowerPoint presentation. But again, it pulled out all the important stuff, made some graphics and dropped those in. It found the branding and their company information, my company information, tied it all together, and actually, made a 12-page presentation. And actually, what I ended up doing was putting that into Canva just tweaking it and making it less Americanized. And I did a Loom video, my face over the top, and instead of sending the Google Doc, I just walked them through this proposal as a Loom video with my face there in the corner, and it was way more engaging and then interesting than a 5-page PDF.
Mm.
And that was literally 2 days ago. So it's been received. They're having a meeting next week. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just a really quick way to turn something quite boring into something quite engaging.
yeah. So it seems to me that you're being very creative
Mm.
with these tools
Yeah,
rather than on a rote, you
I'm
know,
not a
boring.
creative person at all. Like I don't think I've got a creative bone in my body, to be honest. So like having tools that to help me, um, and it's not to replace a graphic designer or anything like that. I have a graphic designer who works for me and all my branding, but to
Yeah, yeah,
create these assets, which actually are far better than I could produce on my own, and it would take me hours and hours and hours to do on my own, right? But it's about leveraging that just to have something which is far better than I could produce otherwise, and very, very quickly.
yeah. Oh, fascinating, fascinating. Yeah, yeah. Let us know how you get on with that proposal.
Updates to come, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it would have saved you a lot of time, heck a lot of time, because proposals can take ages, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And
And
I just
sometimes
think,
never get read because they're boring, as you
yeah,
say.
I did look at it, and I think that's what made me go into Notebook LM, because I thought, who is going to read this 5-page thing full of text? They're probably just going to scroll straight to the price, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I feel like the other stuff in there which shows my value or my experience or the other things that I can give them, is that even going to get looked at? So doing that with a Loom video is the next best step, but actually turn it into something which is a bit more engaging and colourful and still factually accurate, obviously.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a game changer. So I'll be playing around with a lot more of that kind of stuff in 2026.
Yeah, no, exciting, exciting.
Mhm.
And also, you mentioned one of the tools you mentioned was AI voice
Mhm.
phone call answering. I know you had a video which you did where can you explain more about it?
Yeah, voice AI. It's a bit of a funny one, and this stuff has evolved so much in the last. I mean, what are we now? December. In the last 4 or 5 months, this stuff has almost reached an entirely new level again. So yeah, as part of the software, the CRM software that I've been helping people implement, voice AI has now become an integral part of it. So yeah, these agents are essentially answering the phone, and again, not to take away from humans here at all, that it rings the team in the office or whatever first, and it's the voice AI is only going to kick in if they don't answer or if it's out of hours. So a lot of us, especially as small business owners, our phones get rang on the weekends and the
Mm.
evenings. We think, oh, I've got to answer them, because if they don't, it's going to go to voicemail. And if people want something and they're looking at a list in Google or in ChatGPT of people that can help them with whatever it is they're looking for, if you don't answer, they're probably just going to call the next person on the list, and you've potentially missed that sale. And a lot of service-based businesses doing this, right? So if you're a barber, you might miss out on £20. If you're a dog groomer, you might miss out on £50. But actually, it's not just that 20 or £50, because if you get a customer like that, they're probably going to come back again and again. So actually,
Mm.
the lifetime value is a lot higher than that 20 or £50, right? So yeah, having the voice AI answer questions about the business. So we've been training these with a comprehensive knowledge base where it can answer not only just, what time you open, but all sorts of complex stuff about each business, specific to each business. And then it can book in appointments as well. It can say you can access your diary, and if you want it to, again, all it can do as much or as little as you want. But at the more advanced levels, it can book in appointments, it can take details, collect details from people, and it's scary how human it sounds. What the ones where we've set this up, we've decided that it will say, I'm an AI receptionist. I can help you answer any questions or book an appointment, or I can just take a message.
Mm.
And the early stats we're getting on this is, yeah, people are engaging with it. Customers and prospects are having conversations with it, because they
It's good
just
to
want to.
know whether it's AI or not, isn't it?
If
That
yeah, so
makes it more user friendly in a weird way.
yeah, I think. Well, I just think for this, it's better than it going to voicemail, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the alternative. It's either it goes to voicemail and the person probably moves on, or have a chat with an AI. And because it's new, people are people are engaging, they're asking it questions, and they're almost trying it out.
Wow, wow. So, I mean, how easy would it be to set up something like that for a small business?
Yeah, if you try and do it on your own, obviously it's like anything, it's a little bit more difficult. But again, we've been testing this in quite a few different industries now, and our current time for onboarding new clients is under 10 working days. So it depends on how soon we can speak to your existing phone providers and things like that.
Mm,
Or we can just set that up for you. But yeah, definitely within a couple of weeks, we're having these systems live on some level, and a lot of businesses are having it start with the basic kind of functions, and then we're just building on more and more as time progresses. Yeah.
yeah. And how about chatbots? Are they relatively easy to create for a business?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So we've been setting these up on the same system. So the same backend system that powers that voice AI can also power a chat bot. So that could be a chat widget in your website, or it can also respond to your Facebook and Instagram DMs if you want, or it can respond to text messages that your business receives. So yeah, they all kind of tie together within the same system, just making it super easy.
Wow, wow. Is that all included with Foundations.AI
Yeah,
under
so it's
umbrella?
anything in Foundations is where it is. Yeah, so it's all held within that same system, and depending which package people are on, depends on what they get access to. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, wow. Okay. Right, so we're going to do a crunching gear change.
Okay.
And now I'm going to ask you some more informal questions that might surprise you.
Bring it
Wink,
on.
wink.
Yeah.
So the first question is, what is your favorite TV program?
TV show. You know, the one I always go back and watch on Netflix again and again is The Office, the US Office.
Oh, the US Office.
Yeah, I know, controversial. I know,
Yeah,
especially. I can just
why do you
seem
like
to
that one more
I
than
can just seem to put it on, and it's just easy watching. I can almost switch off watching it, and it's just an easy distraction for me. Um,
less
and,
cringeworthy?
yeah, it definitely is a bit cringeworthy. For some reason, I could never get into the British one.
Right, right. Yeah, and
Mm.
it's one you can't just watch in the background.
Mm,
Yeah, you have to watch it, full on.
yeah,
And favorite food?
food probably an Indian takeaway, absolute go to.
Yeah, is there good one in Livingston that
Yeah,
can
there's two here on the high street. Because I live right on the high street here. I can turn left and there's a great one, and turn right and there's a good one. So
right?
yeah, plenty of
Yeah.
choice. Definitely very well positioned here.
Yes. Favorite, I suppose, favorite music genre.
Music. You know what? When I'm trying to do my own work and getting my head down, I listen to like a lot of electronic dance music. Anything with like a fast beat that's a bit headbanging almost. I
Mm.
can just put that on and it just helps me just crack on and focus. And same when I go for a run, I'll just put that on and I just go with the beat and I just seem to move a
Do you have
lot
a
quicker.
Spotify playlist that you go
Yeah.
off?
Yeah, probably like electronic dance music would be the Spotify playlist, and that'd just be it. Yeah, just get my head down and just go.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I'm similar,
Mm,
similar. It's got to be upbeat.
yeah,
You don't listen to like dreary music while you're working.
yeah. It needs to be something upbeat, right? And then you can helps you get moving and feel a bit motivated. Does something to the brain, I reckon.
Yeah, it does. It kind of just gets you in the right frame of mind.
Mm.
My turn to cough. Uh, a favorite holiday destination?
Ooh. I could think of somewhere I've been and somewhere I'd like to go.
Yeah, it
So
could
the
be, yeah.
best,
So two part
my favourite
question.
place that I've ever been was Borneo.
I thought you were going to say Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, not definitely not Bournemouth.
Borneo.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely
Borneo.
not Bournemouth. Yeah,
That's South America.
Bournemouth's like Indonesia, Southeast Asia.
Oh, yes, of course it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all around
yeah.
there. Yeah. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
actually went there for work, but we got some downtime and yeah, unbelievable. Saw the orangutans and some amazing beaches, things like that. Really cool, unique place. And then place to go, number one place to go for me is I want to go to Antarctica. It's the only continent I've never been to. And behind me, I've got a picture of a cruise ship here. in Antarctica on my desk behind me as my
Wow.
vision board, if you like. Yes, number one bucket list trip where I want to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's an interesting one. Would you go as far as the South Pole?
That's probably a bit extreme for what, although that would be epic. I don't even know how you would do that, to be honest. Maybe
Yeah.
when, yeah, but just get on a little cruise ship and
Didn't
head down.
Top Gear drive to the, or was that in the North?
Yeah, they did something like that. They probably had a crew of 50 people though to support them, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think the South Pole is probably harder to get to,
Mm,
I believe.
yeah.
I'm not- this is a supplementary question, is your favorite book?
My favorite book. We've already mentioned him, Marcus Sheridan. They Ask, You Answer.
Mm.
I don't really
Right.
read.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't really read fiction stuff, stories. A lot of what I read is business books and non-fiction. My partner thinks it's very boring because she loves reading fiction. Um, but yeah, I always read non-fiction stuff. And the book I'll keep going back to probably once a year is They Ask, You Answer by Marcus Sheridan.
mm.
Talking about putting relevant content out there to help people. And that book, I think, is timeless. You know, as AI comes in and all this kind of stuff, the content in that book, I think, is absolutely timeless and relevant for probably any business.
Yeah, because it's even more relevant to AI, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or AI search engines.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And he wrote that long before all that was being talked about, but it's
Yeah,
still very much relevant today.
yeah. Okay. Informal questions over. I hope that gave everyone an insight into Dan.
There we go.
Not the real Dan, because the real Dan is always there, but what you like to do in your spare time. So, what are your future plans? What have you got lined up
Yeah,
for
for next
2026? And
2026, almost here, isn't it? Yeah, so my main focus next year is a couple of things is helping businesses with this software. So Foundations.AI is becoming more and more a core part of my business. So helping more and more businesses to get set up with that. And then the second thing would be in October, I launched a peer board in Winchester. So that's a monthly in-person meeting roundtable with business owners and business leaders. Slightly different market to who I normally work with, but it's mainly larger businesses, kind of 7 or 8 figure turnover with teams. It's
mm,
those kind of people in the room, and we're getting together for half a day once a month to really focus on business growth, challenges, and opportunities. Amazing people that we get in the room. It's really fortunate, and yeah, that's once a month. Great to do in person every now and then for some of this stuff. So yeah, the software and the peer board are my two big focuses next year, alongside the one-to-one. And the one-to-one business coaching is what drives everything.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. And do you have any offers at the moment?
I do actually, yes. So between now at the time of recording and up until midnight on New Year's Eve, my 90-day plan, I have doubled the available time that you get with me one-to-one for anyone who commits in December to start it in January. So essentially what that means briefly is you get half a day with me. If we're local, we'll do it in person. If not, I've done this before on Zoom. It still works really well.
Mm,
Essentially, we'll have half a day together to fully map out and plan the entirety of Q1 for 2026. So I'll sit with you, having you answered a questionnaire beforehand. I'll have done a bunch of work and research about your business, and we'll tackle your biggest challenges and your biggest priorities for 2026. And we'll map out a week by week plan with a scorecard where you can track what's happening in terms of everything that you should be doing every single week to have the best 2026 ever, starting off in Q1. And then following up on that initial session, we'll have 3 further sessions over Zoom, which are kind of like an accountability call. So it's a check in on how you're getting on, what's working, what isn't, and then we can tweak things all the way through to the end of Q1 to give you a chance, to give yourself the best chance of success. So, yeah, we can put a link to that offer. I guess it's available until New Year's Eve.
mm. Yeah, especially with lots of uncertainty
Yeah,
uh, around. I think it's going to be a good thing to do for businesses.
yeah, yeah,
And as you say, as someone once said, control the controllables.
yeah. There's only so, yeah, people think a lot of this is out of their hands, but yeah, I do believe your business ultimately ends up where you put it. And yeah, there's definitely the right things you can do, no matter how tough or difficult things seem to be with the budget or whatever else gets thrown at us. That your business is in your hands, and no matter what happens, businesses will be thriving, and those who aren't. So yes, absolutely, do as much as you can to make sure you're one of the ones thriving next year.
Yeah, yeah. And what is the best way for someone to contact you who's just curious about your services?
Yeah, LinkedIn is probably the best way. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. So my name can be found on LinkedIn very easily, or my website, so dsbusinessgrowth.co.uk. There's links to chat to me on there, either through the live chat, or you can WhatsApp me as well. WhatsApp. I respond to most people quickest on WhatsApp.
Do you have well, let me know what your WhatsApp, do you have like a WhatsApp link, as it were?
Yeah, sure, I can give you that.
Yeah,
I'll put it down
yeah.
below.
I can put it down below. Yes. Yeah, I'll put all those details below. And yeah, thanks for your time for doing the podcast. You gave some really good, real nuggets of advice for small businesses, small to medium-sized businesses. And
Yeah.
actual facts, they're probably even large businesses will benefit from this information.
Yeah, a lot of it's suitable to most at the moment. But thanks for having me. Yeah, good to see you as always. Thank you, Mike.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, thanks for everyone for watching this episode. Please like and subscribe, and so you're notified of the next podcast. Bye for now.